Welcome to Music Matters 2020. I'm your host, Jason Tramm. Tonight we're broadcasting from Ocean Grove, New Jersey, in historic Ocean Grove, New Jersey on Founders Park, and we have a really exciting show for you tonight. I'm delighted to welcome you to our podcast community on Music Matters 2020. We take you behind the curtain on artistic conversations with distinguished members of the performing arts community, and you get to join in the conversation. Be sure to chat in questions, hit that chat feature and make sure to become part of the conversation. Your participation helps us and guides us, and we find great inspiration on hearing the voice of people who are out there as well. This is the new podcast, and we're excited that you're joining our community. Please remember to subscribe to us right there on the page. Just subscribe on YouTube and hit that bell for the most up-to-date information on upcoming guests and topics. Also like us on Facebook and visit our website at jasontramm.net. We have an exciting event tonight. Our program is called Back from the Brink, and we're going to deal with some of the most profound catastrophes in the last in recorded human history. Most notably, we're going to look at the bubonic plagues of the 14th century, and also we're going to look at World War II, two events that changed humankind and recorded history. And we're going to look at how music and the arts can help to heal those tremendous social catastrophes. I've got two wonderful guests today, and I'm so excited to introduce one of our guests, Luna Kaufman. This is actually the first time we've had three guests on our program, myself and two distinguished guests. We've only had one on the previous examples. So Miss Kaufman grew up in Poland and was born in 1926 into a large fourth-generation family in Krakow. Her father was a businessman and her mother was an accountant. Luna completed primary school in Krakow and before the outbreak of World War II. When the Nazis invaded, her family was first expelled from the city, and soon Luna, along with her parents and older sister, were forced into the Krakow ghetto and subsequently interned in 3 concentration camps. Shortly thereafter, her father and sister were deported to Auschwitz, while Luna and her mother spent the war years together. Sadly, Luna's father and sister perished in the camps, along with 70 members of her family. Following their liberation, Luna and her mother returned to Krakow, determined to resume life as normal as possible. Luna completed an accelerated high school education and by the fall of 1946 enrolled at the Jagiellonian University and Music Conservatory, graduating in 1950 with a bachelor's degree in musicology. Immediately following graduation, Luna and her mother emigrated to Israel, where in 1951 she married Alex Kaufman, a chemist from the U.S., and following a lengthy struggle with the U.S. immigration authorities, obtained permission to enter the United States, finally joining her husband in 1952. It took 5 years for Luna's mother to obtain a visa and to be reunited with her only surviving daughter, finally coming over in 1957, right at the time of the birth of her twins, Mark and Irene. In the United States, Luna flourished and did some beautiful and amazing things. She became the president of the Environmental Acoustical Resources Incorporated, a business specializing in industrial hearing conservation. She was the first woman president of Temple Shalom in Plainfield, New Jersey. She was appointed by Governor Thomas Kean to the New Jersey Holocaust Commission on Education, and she was a charter member of that organization. And served as the president of the New Jersey State Opera and has a list of accomplishments so long that we're not going to get into them all today, and maybe we can look at some of those in a bit. She was the past chair of the Sister Rose Thering Endowment at Seton Hall University, where she holds an honorary doctorate. And her recollections have been videotaped for several archives, including Yale University, Kean College, the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., and Steven Spielberg's Survivor of the Shoah Visual History Foundation. There's a wonderful book called Luna's Life, which Luna wrote and delves deep into her life and to her experiences, and I encourage you to get a copy and learn all about this amazing human, and I'm delighted to say a very dear friend of mine. I'm going to bring one more. Here's a quote from the Jerusalem Post. Luna's life is a poignant memoir to a strong and determined Holocaust survivor who makes remarkably significant contributions to Jewish and Christian communities and to Jewish-Christian dialogue and mutual understanding in the post-war period and until this very day. Rather than remain bitter, Kaufman felt that her wartime experiences sparked a need to teach tolerance and mutual respect. And that sums up Luna's very, very wonderfully. Welcome, Luna Kaufman.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
We're delighted. On from the Middle Ages, and we've seen this this devastation and how it's caused. And let's take a look at World War II. We've seen such incredible carnage and atrocities and horrible disruption to society. Luna Kaufman, what does that, from someone who lived through this, what is, tell us how you experienced these things.
Oh, I think that music was what kept us alive. You know, the first example I had the influence of music on people when the Nazis came into Krakow in 1939. The first thing they did, they came to the houses, pillaging the houses and taking anything possible. And they entered our house and they saw this beautiful grand piano standing in our house. I started playing when I was 7 years old, but we had our cousins who were escapists in Poland and they were living with us. And one of them, Oskar Hilfstein, was a fantastic pianist and a great singer. And they asked who was here playing, and we pointed to him. He was at the time 18 years old. And he sat down and played, at which point the Nazis said, "Oh, we can't take this piano from a man who plays so well," and they left it to us. And the piano survived the war hidden at Christian friends, and we were able to sell it after the war for leaving Poland.
Wow.
But the music spoke even to the Nazis, who were so beastly and so difficult. And also there was a tremendous amount of music composed in the camps. Gershon Kingsley, a very close friend of mine, a very outstanding composer of German origin, wrote a play, and actually I think Judy Tramer was the one who staged it for him, and it was called Voices from the Shadow. And he was talking about the fact that music maintained the people alive, and he had parents singing the songs to their children to explain to them what it was like in Holocaust. There was a song about hunger and about bread and about the cruelty of the Nazis. And somehow it lessened the trauma by just telling the children about what it was, and yet they were informed and they understood that you do not treat people in this manner. And that was a very, very powerful way of dealing with it. I understand that there is now an Italian musicologist who is collecting all the music between the Czechoslovakian music from Theresienstadt and the other ones in concentration camp, and putting them all on paper now so it can be used and people will understand Holocaust better. I feel that you don't teach Holocaust as a trauma. You teach Holocaust as a lesson to how we should behave to our others and how we should unite and how we should be tolerant of others and how we should really stretch out a hand, because there is no boundaries between us. You know, we are all different. We have different colors. We have different shapes. We have all kinds of differences. But we still basically are human beings underneath the skin, and it's necessary that we unite and act together. So,
such powerful words and such powerful thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's amazing. Did you know any of the composers? Did you meet any in your travels?
Yeah, the strange thing is that the songs were in million different languages. And there were some Polish songs, and Gershon asked me to translate them, and I opened it, and this is by a friend of mine who was with me in the camp, and who became then a very great scholar and became a professor at Harvard. and wrote books, and the creativity of people who were in the camp was just unbelievable. When you think about Elie Wiesel writing those incredible books, after all, he was a boy from a small town who didn't have some tremendous education, and the marvelous books that he had written, and I can quote at no end people who had written about it and who are reaching out to others.
It's a real lesson to us all that even under the most horrific circumstances, the flower of creativity can bloom. And the fact that their music lives on is quite a victory. Thank you for joining us for Music Matters 2020 with Jason Tramm. We are a new podcast community, so be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that bell for the most up-to-date information on guests and topics. Be sure to like us on Facebook and bring your friends. And we want to expand our community and include more people as we discuss these topics relevant in the music and performing arts world today. Thank you very much, and keep music alive.